All right, and welcome back to The Counselor, and I am your host, Sheldon Stovall. So today we're going to be discussing a very important topic that many parents should take some time to listen to. The topic of today's series is from failures to felons. So when I say failures to felons, I'm referring to when we're in school in our young and adolescent years and our teen years, right? When we're in school, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more about called juvenile delinquency, the causes of it, the prevention, and also ways of coping as parents. We're also going to talk about some stats from last year to kind of see where we're headed this year with our young people. Have they learned their lessons of their mistakes of their past and their friends, or are they continuing to repeat these same patterns? All right. And we can also learn some ways to prevent this from continuously happening, not only in this country, but also around the world. So one thing I want to talk about is, why do juveniles commit crimes? So some teenagers have chosen a similar path, that increasing the risk of committing a crime by their poor social status, economic status. So that means that some teens and young adults who are in impoverished neighborhoods, sometimes often referred to as the projects, or, the ghettos or something of low income housing, right? So some people, they're there because either they're a single parent family, mom, is working on getting her education. So right now she's probably taking these jobs. Same with dad. Dad might be single. Mom may not be there. And so he's living off the state and trying to make ends meet. Now, so what happens in these situations is that the children are dealing with the fact that they're poor, right? There may not be food in their house. So what they might do in this case, right, they might go where they do have food, which is the grocery store or a market. And you might see a child put something in their pocket because they're hungry, right? That child doesn't know how to steal. That's their instinct. They're hungry. They see food and they want to eat it, right? Too bad we're not in a world where you can just go to the market and eat for free, right? Or if you, there could be an aisle for benevolence or for people that don't have food, right? We don't have that yet, but that's a good idea. But anyway, so yes, so they might put something in their pocket. They might get away with it the first time. And kids, I do want to tell you, as someone who's worked in these type of stores, yes, we've seen you do it the first time. We've seen you do it the second time. So what we're doing is setting you up to catch you on the third time. All right, just to let you know that. All right, so that means when you see all the aisles clear and nobody's there, right, somebody's watching you in your move, right? So what happens? You get caught when you steal, and then now you're considered a juvenile delinquent. All right. So even in different attitudes of parents, right? So sometimes parents and children have indifferent attitudes with each other, right? And parents, I do want to say this to you from the goodness of my heart and from the bottom of my heart. Stop getting mad at your children for getting an attitude with you. Okay, you're getting mad at yourself. That's your creation. So if you got an attitude at your parents, right, and you didn't know how to control your attitude, your child is going to have characteristics of yours. They're going to get an attitude with you, right? And if you're not having that and all those words you normally hear, and I'm not having that and not me, right? Yes, that child is you, right? So they're going to have that attitude, and then look at yourself now. They might even grow up to be you. All right. And if your attitude isn't good, mom or dad, right, then don't start arguing and yelling at your children. Right. Learn from your behavior. There's no need to be going toe to toe with your family members. OK, so in different attitudes of parents, feelings of inferiority. All right. And I often say that inferiority comes from somewhere, right? It either comes from a father that may be insecure or a mom that's insecure, right? About their home, where they're living, which is now going to bring your children into feeling inferior or feeling like they have less than the next person. All right. Someone doesn't know they don't have less than unless someone else tells them that, right? There are children who grow up in very humble situations. I don't like to use poor, but humble situations in which they're fine. They live on a farm. They have free milk, free food, free meat, right? They even make their own candy and donuts. They have a great life, right? Until someone comes around and say, ew, you milk cows and drink that, right? And then that, of course, that person is ignorant. Right. But because she lives in the house, the biggest house in the hill, and, everything that's given to her, she doesn't even know there's a grocery store or him. Right. They're going to make you start feeling inferior. Right. Or that you have less than, or that you're less than them. Right. So that's where it comes from. And these feelings come from other people. And then lack of attention. And I want you parents to really get this today. All right. When you're not paying attention, right, to your children because you want to keep up with the Joneses, right, because you want to keep doing what you want to do and having your children, right, follow you as you're at either the work all day or doing something that's not home, paying attention to your children. Yes, they're going to start reacting from your bad behavior. So parents, start paying attention to your children. I hate that terminology when people say, they just want attention. He's acting out. They are. Give them attention. Right, parents? Give them some. Keeping up the Joneses, you're going to get a BMW. It's going to go away. You're going to get another car. I promise you, ultimately, unless you become a millionaire, you're going to end up with a 4-door something that you're driving. Because all the money that you wasted and the time that you've been working, spending away from your family, your children aren't going to be around. Trust me. They won't be around. While you're working hard to build whatever you think you need to build, you're leaving your children behind. You're relinquishing the relationship. So when they get off to college, what do they need to come home for? You were never there, right? So lack of attention could lead to juvenile delinquency, and many other reasons can lead to a various type of psychological issues in children and adolescents, right? So research, all right, so far in this country and in the